from Dean's List. We're checking all the different dApps that we really like, new ones, alpha versions, or even the live ones. Today we're doing Lulo. Lulo maximizes your lending rates and saves you time. It's one of those platforms that find the best interest rates by checking different lending dApps on Solana and automatically moves the funds for you to get that amazing APR without having to check them, without having to search the different platforms. So it's a say lending aggregator in a way. That's how we would understand it, at least as power users that have seen multiple platforms. I'm here with a lovely team that we've worked together multiple times the past couple of years. We've judged hackathons. We've given grants to various teams. We've given feedback and passed through our accelerator many winning Solana teams. So welcome everybody. Let's first of all go through the app. Let's see the user journey. Someone who opens for the first time, this is a wallet that has never interacted with the platform. We'll see a little bit how you deposit your USDC and a little bit what happens, and then we'll talk about what kind of features we want to see in such a lending application, and we're going to talk about a couple of bugs or a couple of UI UX mistakes. Are we? I think we're all ready. Let's start by just depositing $100. Let's use the buttons. If feel free to jump in, guys, if you see something that is worth mentioning. When I can see that it will take all my funds to Camino. If I click here, it shows that $100 are going to Camino. I'm only putting $100. I don't know if this would change if I put $500. No, I assume this has to do with the capacity of the pool. So let's deposit. Before we deposit, let me check the settings. So yeah, all the different platforms. I see the minimum rate that I want to put as home base, meaning that anything under 5% would go to whichever house base I select. So only if the rate is exceptional, at least this is how I understand it, we would end up to one of those. Otherwise, it all goes to the home base. I don't care about this. I just want the best option. So I deposit $100. I see a wallet pop-up, which you don't see on your screen. So this is a classic fandom pop-up that I need to confirm. And it is charging me. I would like us to see this. We can't really see it, at least on mine. Oh, share. Yes. Share this tab. Here you go. So you'll see at least it's charging me 0.02 sol. This part here. You'll need to create a Lulo account, and this is 0.02 sol. So let's confirm. So you can see that we don't have the simulation. We drop the screen for a second. And this is what we get. Failed. Lovely friends, I know we discussed this before. You all have the same issue. What's happening here?
I think there's an issue in the UI that doesn't inform you. I mean, it does inform you that you need to create an account, but that's after.
So yeah, I didn't see on the
You like
simulation. I didn't
approve
see
or
the
reject on your wallet, and then sorry.
You dropped it. You dropped for a second.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So even though warns you that you need to create an account. It lets you proceed. So the pop-up appears to approve or reject the transaction. You approve it if you're like in a hurry or not being very, very careful. Then it fails. It does charge you the 0025 sol for creating the account. It creates the account as we discovered and as we're going to see later, but you have no way of knowing that the account has been created for you right now. So as a UX now, you're gonna have to like turn off the model that you see open right here on the screen you're sharing, and then retry it. Because in my case, when I retried from this step right here, it just it got stuck in processing.
I see. So, and also I noticed that there was no movement of funds in the prompt that I got from my wallet. It didn't tell me deposit 100 USDC in any way. It just asked me for that 0.025 sol. So let's try the retry button. I got another wallet pop-up. Again, the simulation is failing. I'm not sharing that. This is the classic simulation failed pop-up. I confirm. And it failed again, exactly as expected. Did everybody have the same error when you tried? If anybody had a different error,
Yeah,
please go
I'm
ahead
trying
and
to deposit on the Mango market and it's failed twice. And I checked my wallet activity. I've been I've been debited minus 0.02 so. So I think it's a general issue at this point.
this looks like it's taking more time. I have no idea. Maybe it's actually going to process, or it's gonna be stuck at processing. Yep, exactly as you suggested, Takisol. We are stuck at processing. Let's get out off the button. This is a bit scary, especially if it's your first interaction with the platform. Stuck at processing, not knowing exactly what happened. And I can also I noticed that clicking on the background is not taking me out of this window. I don't see. I don't have a way of leaving this screen. I think this is a bit annoying, at least. So I assume I need to refresh. I see still have the same balance, so the $100 were not taken from my account.
Just to confirm on my side as well, I made a new wallet, deposited, and I created a new account, created a new Lulo account, and then I get the usual error as everyone. I get the deposit error, and I assume we need to close, refresh the page, and we manual deposit through the UI dashboard.
Yeah, but I also noticed that now it's not Camino, it's Drift where my money is going. For 11.9 APY. Okay, I'm trying again. It's depositing straight to Drift. Now the simulation is right. I'm getting charged a tiny bit of Solana, and my account is being deducted by 100 USDC. So I'm confirming. I was fast. Lulo will deposit into Drift to generate the highest interest rate. And we can see this on chain. It pops a Sol scan window with the transaction and go back to Lulo. So that's it. The real-time APY is 12.58. How is that possible? How can it be 12.58, friends? Why is it different from the 11.9 APY I see on the deposit?
I might
changes.
assume.
If you go to Drift, for example, what's the APY for that?
Let me go to Drift and see.
And Bear, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I just assume because it was also around 1240 like yesterday. I think it's over a period of time the performance API in general of the whole platform. And if you want to know like which platform there is a coming out part, then it's real time. That's what I understood. But how long of a duration, I don't know. That's calculated. Maybe it needs update.
So I see here that USDC, the USDC pool, has 11.86% APR. While
if you go back to Lulo, I think it fluctuates. Like while you were searching for the Drift side, it dropped to 11.77. So it might be, the moment that the transaction passes.
Indeed. So now if I add another $10, for example, my total value is going to go up, and what's going to happen to my APY? Okay, it needs a little bit of time to refresh. Okay, it refreshed this one. And from what I understand, I can choose different coins as well. Here, I can add max. You have a minimum. I don't have enough bonk. Sorry, bonk friends. All right. That's the whole screen. That's the whole journey. Let's withdraw some funds, see how it is. So you need to have at least. So how do I withdraw all my funds? Withdrawal. Where's the withdrawal button? Okay, I see. You need to click on the max. Not very intuitive. Wallet prompt correct with the correct simulations is processing, and I would like this to be red, for example. It's not doesn't stand out as much as the deposit part. Any comments on the screen, friends?
I think as you said, I also thought it would be nice to see, deposit green and withdraw red, as you said, and maybe some more specific on your position. So if you go above, you see the total value, interest, and real-time API, right? So what happens if we, like I deposit USDC and USDT on my case, and I would like to see under the dashboard some type of open positions so I can see detail if how much my USDC is earning interest in Mango and how much my USDT is earning interest in Camino, for example. So some type of specification and more details, more in depth about your positions will be better. I know this is already super good. It's a very nice dashboard, it's very simplified, very simple. Everybody can use, even my grandmom probably. But if you are a power user, you probably want more details. So that's my opinion on this on the dashboard, overall UI dashboard.
Takisol, you had a good call earlier. I don't understand. I don't know why you're not repeating it. That the fact that this doesn't show us anywhere that we are on the dashboard. I'm just repeating your words that there's no indication which screen is the one we're actually.
Because We noticed that here you're sharing your screen, for
Exploring that.
example, and we don't see the. Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. So
Yep.
we see from the part of the screen of your screen that you're sharing, we don't see the UI.
Is Taki's connection
To understand
problematic only
which
for
part,
me?
which section of.
No, it's going down for me as well.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Sorry, Taki. We cannot really hear you. You're just breaking up.
I see.
So Taki's saying that the dashboard here has no indication that we are currently viewing it, which I agree. There's nothing to say it. Also, some colors on the withdraw and the deposit, making the deposit green and the withdraw red would go a long way. And I think it should have also another indication on the withdraw all. So I can be at $100 here, but since there is this little digit pending, I cannot withdraw it. And I understand that. It makes sense, but it should have like a withdraw all button since it is asking for that. Since it uses the words withdraw all, then it should have a withdraw all. Otherwise, they should change the wording on the button saying withdraw max, something like that.
Also, I forgot there's no, like in most DeFi platforms, like new users get some type of tutorial or guide. In Lulo, you don't get anything. You just straightforward, right? But I assume they have these little, they have a lot of space, like in the sidebars. So there's a lot of space in the whole dashboard. So they can use all this open space to put some like little figurines or images, like a very simple step 1, step 2, step 3, and you can mention, yeah, there's a lot of space, so you can put a lot of anything you want. But I assume they put some images or video, no, not videos, but images in this case. And it's a little figurines that could serve as tutorial, for example.
I think that they have a lot of space to improve because, like, the site, the dashboard is very clean and very, it has a lot of space for stuff to be added. For me, the only negative thing I see is that you can't manage multiple positions. Like, there's no place that can track your active positions per token. And yeah, other than that, I think it's clean. I think we identified a problem because we all had the same problem with the instruction that failed in the beginning in the deposit. I had the same problem as well. And yeah,
Yeah, in addition to that, I just want to quickly point out the discrepancies within the app, the theme of the app, in the sense that you have the Lulo logo taking black and a touch of green, but then you look at the app and it's unrelated to its primary identity. And you look at most major platforms in the ecosystem like Jupiter, Radium, and Camino, and you can see the color theme they use are mostly gotten from their main identity, which is the logo. So for this front page or for this dashboard, I mean, you could just make it a black background. The only touch of green on the screen here is the settings icon. So I think, we are going to you need to create a very good first impression for your users. And it would be very nice to have them identify from a distance that this is the Lulo platform just by interacting with it first glance. So it's not priority, but it's a good place you can also improve. Just, have everything blending and uniform.
Totally agree that is missing a little bit
Yeah.
on the identity and what is exactly the colors of the logo. Totally agree with that scientist. And what else is missing from here, guys?
So
It's obvious we're missing something.
can anyone hear me?
Of course, please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Coming, I work on the US part of it, like coming from the top navigation, but not top navigation bar that Taki said about, like the top navigation call to action doesn't have an active button. They're like active states. Now, when you click on the dashboard or the point leaves or the reward or the data, it differentiates between other call to actions that are actually in the dashboard or in the reward. So it improves the virtual hierarchy of to improve the virtual hierarchy. And also on the connect button call to action, the drop down is just like a list. I made a design which I accompanied it with some logos, which we see enhance the user experience. Like accompanying the drop list with some logos, and also the footer section too. There is no footer section. Virtually, there is no social link that a user, when you come to the platform itself, you can actually visit the link, the Discord or any of their social links supposed to be on the screen. And where you can find it is in the setting. When you click on the setting, you now find the navigation links. So the navigation social link, which is not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be on the main page, which I made some design about it too. And also I have, like, when I click on the reward, it takes time. I don't know whether it's from my side. It takes a lot longer time to load on the reward call to action. Like it takes longer time to load.
You're going very ahead of yourself. I coder. We were mostly talking on this screen. Let's not move to the next screens. We all have a lot to say, but we're talking on the main dashboard screen.
Okay.
And what I was referring to as missing, which again we all discussed it earlier. I don't understand why you are keeping back, guys. Now it's the words you were you had earlier. Now you're not repeating them. We're missing the documentation. We're missing the socials. We're missing the help. We're missing everything. You need to click on that little cogwheel and find them. This is what we're missing. I think that's not very easy to understand that they should be there.
Yeah, one thing I should add also for this page is, considering we have a real-time APY, would it be nice to have the APY changes in percentage, green and red, up and down arrows? And looking at the animation, which is a loop that continuously keeps flowing. Since if the APYs are changing, you can have each of the price change sorted out, maybe by different time frames. You can have 24-hour time frame. Is it going up? Is it going down? Just to give users a real time sense of the API data changes, I think. But there's no way to differentiate.
All right, shall we go forward and check the points lift or the rewards?
Let's do it. Let's go.
Point lift. This is. What do you think about this screen, guys?
Legend made a very good comment about that. I don't want to take it away from him. So Legend, tell us what you said
I
earlier.
can repeat. So yeah, I think points lift. It's a different. It's like a different person from Lulo made this, because points lift and dashboards should be in the same zone, because it doesn't make sense for points lifts having a different UI. For example, you can see the deposit and withdraw. It's very minimal. You don't see, you can deposit, but I actually got lost. I was 5 minutes looking how to withdraw on points lift, and I just noticed there's like a little withdraw by it. So yeah, so I think the UI is completely different from the dashboard, and I think it should be similar to what dashboard is. Like they should merge or use at least the same UI, because I don't see why should it be different. Like I understand it's for the it's leveraging your points, but it needs to be used the same UI for the dashboard. That's my main point.
Yeah, I agree. It looks a little bit different from the dashboard, at least the aesthetics, the way the deposit withdrawal looks. It's a bit alienating that you have these two different tabs
There's another
to withdraw.
point I missed, if I may, which is if you deposit into PointsLift and withdraw, the transactions you make, they don't appear in the dashboard. So I'm not sure if that's intended or it's just a bug, because you want your transactions to show up, and if they don't show up, you have no idea where they are. And like you can make a deposit, okay, you can do like 10 or 100, and you go back to the dashboard and you will see it doesn't appear. So I think that's a missed feature, let's say. And you see on the bottom left, bottom right, there's a different way of processing your depositing. So in the dashboard, the deposit appears in the middle of the screen, right? But here on the PointsLift, it appears in the bottom corner. So that's why I said it looks like it was made by a different developer, the PointsLift page at least.
Yes, it's alienating the fact that you cannot, like, you don't see the transaction on the dashboard. You're very right on that. It's just confusing. It should at least tell me that I have $200 and the $100 is not earning any interest because I'm getting double the points. It should somehow mention it. I'm gonna withdraw just to see how it looks. And yes, again, processing your withdrawal different from the dashboard. Any comments on the screen? Anybody
Yeah.
else?
For there is a how it works link below that takes you to the docs. But as we discussed, it takes you to the part of the docs that is about the points list. If you go back to the dashboard, we commented already that you cannot access very immediately the docs. So it could be that it has a how it works or a specified section of the whole DApp, like let's say right from the data section to the top, that it has the docs, and or it explains you how it works, because you only have the how it works section in the points list. So again, this feels like it was made by different teams that were not communicating with each other or something, like Legend pointed out very correctly.
Yeah, I think that these two screens could just be merged in the dashboard, and have the user somehow have the option to, instead of farming the yield in the native token, farm the tokens, the Camino points. I think that this shouldn't be on a second screen, and it should be all at one.
And let's go to the reward section.
Yeah,
Unless someone
the
wants
rewards.
us to talk about the previous one. Reward section. I don't understand anything from this one. I don't understand what's my Lulo account and why I have it's there is a point here, like something is missing. Any comments on this side of the app?
I have a comment, if I may, before Taki. I don't know.
Please go ahead, Legend.
It should be mentioned that the link they display for Drift, like Trade Now, it's a referral link for Lulo. They don't mention that, and if you go to Drift to trade with that hyperlink there, you get a referral from Lulo. So you're basically favoring Lulo with some type of points or earnings in some way.
True, yeah, I just clicked on it and now it took me to app.drift.trade/ref/lulo. That's the screen that's the URL that it took me. So yes, you are right. It just takes you and uses a ref link. What is this screen supposed to be doing? Well, should it be informing me about? The points campaigns of other platforms?
It seems
So
that's the case. Go, let's go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to mention because Wales didn't deposit enough time for the points to show. Because I tested back some hours ago and I got some Camino points and some points left. So if you farm enough, those points will show below. So that's the whole points page. For me personally, this points page should be in dashboard in some section, but it's fine like this. I know it's very simple, so I have no.
Aren't these points somehow calculated in your APR on your dashboard's APR, or this is like a completely separate thing you're gaining without actually?
This is totally separate. These are points from the platforms themselves. These are Camino points, not Lulu points in any way. So Lulu deposits to you, and by using your USDC, you earn points. So that Lulu account is the Lulu farming account for all these platforms. So I assume when you deposit USDC, you deposit in that Lulu account address, which is yours, and that account earns all these points. So when the platform launches a token, I assume these points are yours, and you can claim for rewards, like for the Camino tokens or whatever. That's what I assume.
Yeah, it's a good call. It's a good assumption.
The interesting part here is that what enhances the assumption that this is a page to see which other protocols you're accumulating points, like some kind of a dashboard, is the fact that you can see for MarginFi has points, but if you hover over the question mark in points under MarginFi, you're going to see that MarginFi doesn't allow programmatic accumulation of points. So it's available there on the program for MarginFi, but you cannot earn anything. And I'm not sure what happens for Solent and Drift we can see. And what's points left? Oh, that's Camino as well. So these are two different reward programs for Camino. So what's the point of having Solent there?
That's very interesting. Look, you are currently viewing this wallet's positions. Actions will not work. Click the wallet button to connect your own wallet. Very interesting, huh? That it took you to see the dashboard of the Lulo account. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. There is nowhere else you can access this wallet and claim anything. So all those platforms, including MarginFi, you cannot see it, but there's a workaround. I think there's in the documents. This page is just to claim those points with your Lulo wallet, because otherwise you have no access to use your Lulo wallet anywhere else.
And why not offer you the option to export the private keys for your Lulo account, since that appears to be operating as a wallet? That would be a big plus. You can export, anything you can in that account, and also have the custody that reinforces a sense of security.
Well, once you have that, then they will also need your permission to move your funds. I think that's what I understand.
Yeah, so if I deposit USDC on Drift using Lulo, when I go to the Drift platform, I can't see my position.
You can go
You
check your
can go check your
eligibility.
eligibility.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry, the wallet.
sorry,
No,
the
I
wallet.
don't
No,
see
I
how.
don't see how.
There is echo
There is
coming from
echo
your
coming from
speakers,
your
Kuro.
Opa,
speakers,
sorry.
Guru.
So no, I don't. I really don't understand how this works. I think this tab could be way more detailed. Give us a little bit more understanding on where these points accumulate, add their value, or add it somehow, at least the perceived value, or maybe add them as an extra asterisk on the dashboard that yes, you have $100 and 1,000 of a cent, but you also have X amount of points accumulating in these platforms, uh, without having this rewards table, or at least make it nicer, have a claim button or something like that. Let's quickly go through the data tab, and then we can discuss a little bit on feature requests and what we would like to see from a lending aggregator in Solana. Uh, Problems you found on this tab, friends? I don't understand a lot of things, especially when I click on it.
So personally, I found two bugs. One I already mentioned, which is the pool makeup, like some tokens and tickers don't appear, and the other one is in the USDC side. If you go to the top left corner where it says all and select USDC, right, and you click on which platform you want, yeah, click on it. So you can see there 1 hour flows and 5 minutes flows. So that's another bug I found, that there's an update, so you don't know the flows of USDC into the platform and outside the platform. So that it's not updating at all. So that's the only two bugs I found myself.
Anybody else find anything weird in the screen, or anything that doesn't really make sense to you? For me, the pool makeup, as Legend also said, makes no sense. I don't understand. I clicked on a USDC pool. Why am I seeing a pool makeup that has a bunch of tokens in there? What does that mean? Why, like, are these all the tokens that trade on Mango?
Yeah, I think that it's talking about the liquidity of the platform as a whole instead of each separate pool, which I find confusing.
About this page, personally, I think data metrics is nice to have about like a general view of how the platforms is performing for Lulo. But as a user, it interests me more to know how did I score with those platforms in general. I think that's one information we are missing in general. Like I deposit on different times than someone else. So that while maybe the whole performance is something nice to have to know about platforms, as a user, I would like to see actually maybe next to this page or on something additional on dashboard, user specific metrics.
Also, like, what does the type trading mean? It means that the platform where I'm depositing the funds is a trading platform. And what kind of type is the pool? I don't understand
Like, just because we know the
the
DeFi
names.
scene, It is exactly as you described. It's a pool
Yes,
service, like a mean of offers liquidity pools. But you are right. This is not intuitive at all.
like the whole point of an aggregator is to make someone's life easier. Someone that just wants to lend their crypto, ABC, do A, do B, get C. I think that one of the main pain points of the platform at the moment is that it's not very informative and that the user has to have some decent experience in DeFi to understand all of these terms and concepts.
Yeah, like for example, C ratio. I mean, this is there's no explanation what C ratio is. It's a good thing to know. It's the debt to capital ratio, meaning like how much money has the pool versus how much it has been borrowed from. So some explanations on what exactly these things mean. So this is the C ratio is uh, this over this total deposits over total borrows. Uh, I really don't understand what the percentages are either. So it's a good start. It's a good place like to start adding information on the platforms and as Untied said, some user stats on what does my deposit mean for that pool? How big am I? How small am I?
I think
So
that
I think we covered most of the platform different tabs. I want to listen from all of you, each one of you. Uh, what are the features you would like to see in a lending platform on Solana? What is missing here from this to become the go-to savings DApp on the Solana ecosystem? What do you think? What are your feature requests?
I have a one pager if I can start with. Maybe if I can share.
Would you like to share your screen
Yeah,
to
sure.
share your one pager? I'll close mine.
Right. It's a one pager just to mention. Can you see my screen good?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. So this is one thing that I noticed that when you click Lulo or dashboard, they're both homepage at the same time. I think it's really nice to have the deposit and withdraw directly on the homepage, but it can both have it like both the homepage and the dashboard can have the deposit and withdraw option, while the right side, as we see it, could be different for the dashboard. And like Legend mentioned earlier, like some for new users on the homepage, it could have next to deposit instead of a portfolio. Like there is an option for dashboard extra for that already. So how the routing works, maybe even more general information about API or maybe some extra information you needed or security details. And the dashboard part then could be different from the homepage, and it can has some more, like some dynamic visualizations or real-time API code because it's really empty if I look at it. But what I'm also missing is, especially when if they're planning to add more coins with the time in the or more platforms because it's growing, I think a filter would be really nice on the activity part, so you can see only your deposits or only your withdrawals, or even coin specific. It can be many other filters as well. I think that would be a nice feature to have. And I think I saw also many people mentioning it on the site with the dollars. When you change the coins, it I mean, there is an issue. I think it's already told, but it could be more generic on the deposit side with with a slider like on Zeta. I copied from there. Those are my points about the features I would request.
Legend, do you want to continue? Any feature requests? Anything you would like to see on the platform that would make you use it? Maybe Legend is not with us. Let's skip Legend and let's go to Scientist. Scientist, anything you would like to see on the platform?
Well, for starters, we can look at the deposits page, and that's on under the dashboard. So one thing to note here is you have it's an aggregator. It gives you the highest, automatically gives you the highest interest rate here, and it automatically deposits that for you. So could you, like, if you are very familiar with the UI of Jupiter, you find out that they are fetch through their APIs, they are fetching the best prices for you across all pools and platform. So can you also have a list below, just just to have it out there that you might have a higher APY, but you might also prefer to deposit in other pools, preferably due to certain reasons that might not be outlined. So you also need to consider the fact that most users might not be looking to deposit in the highest pool alone. They might be considering other factors. So having that out when you click the deposit button and showing them a list of the percentages involved would be a more detailed experience. And looking at the data page, I am really surprised something.
I think we lost Scientist. Or at least from my side. Takisol, okay, here you are. You're back, Scientist. Continue from the data page.
Yeah, what I'm noticing here is on the data page, there's okay, we already outlined the fact that there are different types, they are categorized into different types, which is pool and trading. But looking at the rewards, the points lists, and the dashboard, going to the documentation, you find everything highlighted here, and you can easily have a brief idea of what this does. But how did, like, I mean, you are doing a documentation of your platform. There is no way you would leave something that major out, because I'm on the docs now and I cannot find anything related to the the data, which is very interesting. Except maybe it's not clear on what this is or why, but it's better if you even exclude it completely till you are sure of what it's doing. So I don't I don't understand the thoughts behind it. And also updating the
Any
settings.
features? Sorry.
Yeah, updating the settings prompts a transaction. Prompts you to sign a transaction. I have mine automatically set to Mango platform. But why is there a need for you to sign a transaction? I mean, the data, there are site settings that automatically record your data. So for me to constantly have to sign transactions just to update my settings, I mean, I do not feel very comfortable just signing, you know, like, and it doesn't even come in form of signing a message just to like verify your identity or anything. It's just a transaction on its own. So I do not I do not like the fact that I cannot just update my settings without having to sign, a transaction. Yeah.
Yeah, at least the program should explain why you need to sign the transaction to update your settings. I didn't realize that it required the user to sign to update. Good catch.
Thank you.
Uh, Anybody else would like to add features? I have a couple of features that I want to see. I think that they are missing out on.
I can say some minor ones compared to yours.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead
I would assume.
before I close.
So yeah, expanding on what scientist Joe said, it would be nice to have more customization in the composability of the pool and how your funds are being split, if they are split or not. It will also be nice to have some kind of notifications that hey, your funds are moving from here to here, so you can always be alerted on what's happening with your funds on the platform. Um, Obviously, some kind of collaborations with other platforms or something that can boost your points or anything, any kind of incentive that can allow you to benefit more from the rewards. And it would be nice to see a DAO integration for that, like um a plugin for Realms, so that DAOs can also create an account here and play around. That would be also nice, and play around with delegation, like Mango does natively, so that you don't have to worry about the DAO member like running off with your funds. But overall, it's an interesting effort. I would most likely keep experimenting with that, and hopefully, they keep adding features and they keep working on all the stuff and become better. Very interested.
While you were talking about the migration, we just had a migration pop on our activity. It seems like Camino APR exceeded Drift's APR on that lending pool, and our funds were migrated. Interesting. It's very interesting. I would also like to see in this total calculation is how much does it cost me, all this migrating, all this changing, like having an idea. And again, I know, because I'm a Solana power user, I know that it's very little, but I think it would work on their favor, showing how little this costs on your total investment, on your total bucket, migrating 20, 30, 50, 100 times a day. And it will allow the user to understand how cheap and how efficient these markets are. So I would like to see fees on migrations and general fees and the fee accumulation throughout the time and the periods that I'm using the platform. So maybe after 2 years, I've accumulated 0.01 Solana in total fees, and this is deducted by my total account. I would appreciate that. Another ultra huge feature that I am personally missing, and it comes from Idle Finance, which is one of the most popular Ethereum lending aggregators, is the trenched pools. And this is a trenching protocol applied on top of the third-party platforms like Camino, like Drift, like Mango, like Solend, like MarginFi. So these protocols do not have a trenching layer on top of them, but Lulo could possibly add trenches, junior and senior trenches, where junior trenches opt in for a higher yield and less protection, while senior trenches opt in for higher protection and higher priority when it comes to yield. So imagine a scenario where there is a depeg in one of those platforms, and the users are hurt. And I'm not saying you lost money, I'm saying your APY was hurt. Just because the platform was down, just because there is some mix-up, just because they stopped trading, they halted trading for a few hours. I would like to see the junior trenches take the loss, while the senior trenches continue their promised APR, versus having excess APR and taking higher risks on the junior, where senior you get stability and insurance. So I would like to see this. This is something which you would get by default in a lending aggregator. I'm not going to start talking about Yearn finance um, strategies, yield strategies. I think we are a long way from such DeFi capabilities. I'm pretty sure that if we had such strategies, we would eventually see them in aggregators. We don't yet in Solana. I don't think the Yearn finance of Solana has been found yet, but I can see a future where Lulo has this degen tab where high risk and experimental contracts are used. So I would like to see that together with trenching. I think trenching is the most important feature that I would add in this whole ecosystem. Generally, I would suggest to the uh, developers and the team of Lulo to go explore idle finance on Ethereum. They've got really high TVLs. This is not some little protocol. They've been an aggregator, the popular aggregator, together with Yearn Finance, and who was the other one that just stopped working earlier? Rari Capital. Rari Capital had also this kind of aggregator. Oh, yes. Last thing that I think it's very important for Lulo to incorporate. It is on-chain governance, and not from the side Takisol mentioned, not DAOs being able to actually open position, which obviously this would be very helpful, and I would opt in for that. I would want my DAO to have a savings account in Lulo, but I would like the Lulo holders, the Lulo users, the Lulo savers to have a programmatic way to add a new platform, to add a new strategy, to tweak an existing strategy, to have a say on how this platform is going to expand, who are going to be the partners, who are going to be the main liquidity providers, who are going to be the ones that will will give a preferential treatment to Lulo just because the Lulo savers users are unanimously choosing to tap into their vaults. So I think this would take partnerships to a different level, and we could see some kind of curve finance vaults where preferential treatment for large liquidity providers exist. And it would always make sense to go through Lulo and through the pools that Lulo maintains in those third-party platforms versus going alone with your tiny balance sheet and your little funds to play into each third party, whether it's Camino or MarginFi, doesn't matter. The fact that you are coming with a large pool from Lulo should give you something extra. I think those would elevate the platform to a different level, together with those minor UX UI things that we mentioned. We're just over the 1 hour mark. Before we close, the floor is yours, guys. Please go ahead. Talk about anything you would like to say. If you things you didn't like, things you liked, before we close this session. If not, I'll just do a small outro.
I want to say just like one thing. I like the platform a lot because it's very simple. I just think that it should be a little bit more informative. I've used the main platforms on Solana like MarginFi, Camino. I don't like them because they are too complicated for me. I think they are too complicated for the user that is not a DeFi expert. I think this is needed. An aggregator is needed. And I like very much the idea. It reminds me of Saber, where voters direct liquidity and yeah, the good part of Saber. Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and it would take the project to new heights. I think it would come like further in the roadmap. I don't think they are close to something like this yet. But I like it very much because every time I'm looking at a new platform like this, every time I'm thinking about Curve. And Curve has this ancient style of like the brick wall that writes the pools and the yields and all this stuff, but it's the simplest one to use, and it's the one that most users use for their DeFi activity. So I think I like it very much that it's simple. They should go with this philosophy, and yeah, good job. I think this is very much needed on Solana.
Yeah, curve is so complicated, but yeah, I want to see strategies, curve style strategies as well. I totally agree with you. We really need this on Solana. We really need just one click applications. I think that's how we're going to reach mass adoption. One thing that I really want to point out when it comes to Lulo is that they have a really good Twitter game. The Lulo intern, whoever is behind the Twitter account of Lulo, is doing an amazing work, interacting with the top Solana accounts, making a lot of noise. Shout out to Maurice for his position as head of growth. I think he's nailing it. I see Lulo everywhere. I see Lulo on my Instagram accounts. I see Lulo on my Twitter accounts. I see Lulo everywhere. So good job with that. You are nailing that part of the game. If there's nothing else, lovely friends, let's close it here. 1 hour is enough. I think there was a lot to say. I did not expect us to have so many things to say in such a simple application, at least where it is at the moment. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with all the feedback we could source in just 1 hour of discussion. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week with Xfluencer, and we'll still be connected offline and asynchronously through the Dean's List DAO Discord. So again, thank you so much. Take care, and don't stop using Solana dApps. Bye bye. Don't drop from the call.